To whoever this may impact, sometimes our lives have to be completely shaken up, changed, and rearranged to relocate us where we're really meant to be. Sometimes change feels like loss, transformation is scary, and sometimes to discover the best versions of ourselves, we must let go of absolutely everything that's holding us down. Welcome to I Missed Me, your new safe space. I'm excited to form a part of your healing journey.
Today we're talking about something that might sound a little backward, but it's true. Staying the same is harder than changing, because while change feels uncomfortable, staying the same hurts in ways we don't always see until it's too late. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how sometimes we hold on to the old versions of ourselves, our old routines, old relationships, old stories, not because they're good for us, but because they're familiar. And yet, the truth is, the longer that you hold on to what you've outgrown, the heavier it becomes. So let's talk about it. The illusion of safety. We love comfort. We love routine. We love familiarity, even when it hurts us, because familiarity feels safe. We convince ourselves that if something is known, it must be secure. And we stay. We stay in jobs we hate because at least it pays the bills. We stay in friendships that drain us because we've known them forever. And we stay in cities that don't inspire us because starting over feels scary. But staying in something that no longer serves you isn't safety. It's slow self-destruction, disguised as comfort. Safe isn't found in what's familiar. It's found in what's right. And sometimes the right thing will scare you. Sometimes the right thing will stretch you. And sometimes the right thing will require you to leave everything behind. Discomfort doesn't mean wrong. We've been conditioned to believe that if something feels uncomfortable, it must be wrong. But discomfort is usually just growth trying to introduce itself. It's your soul expanding. It's your old habits fighting your new standards. It's the tension between who you were and who you're becoming. And that's why staying the same is harder. Because growth hurts, yes. But stagnancy kills. It kills your potential. It kills your creativity. It kills the part of you that once believed that you could have more. So if it feels uncomfortable right now, maybe that's not a sign to quit. Maybe it's a sign that you're finally moving. The cost of staying where you are is something we don't talk about enough. How much energy it takes to stay. How much energy it takes to stay small. How exhausting it is to keep pretending something still fits when it clearly doesn't. How painful it is to keep shrinking yourself just to make everyone else comfortable. Because staying the same costs you something too. It costs you your peace. It costs you your authenticity. It costs you your growth. And the truth is, the longer that you resist change, the louder life gets. It'll start with a whisper, that quiet voice in your head saying, there has to be more than this. And if you ignore it, it'll get louder. You'll start to feel restless. You'll start to feel disconnected. You'll start to feel like you're watching your own life from a distance. And eventually, life will force you to move. Not to punish you, but to free you. What makes staying the same so hard is that it comes with guilt. Because growth often means outgrowing friendships that no longer feel aligned, outgrowing versions of yourself that you no longer recognize, outgrowing the environments that once made you feel safe, but now feel too small. And that is sad, because no one really prepares you for that kind of loss, the loss of a life that's no longer meant for you. But I promise you, it's not selfish to grow, it's sacred. It's an act of self-respect to look at your life and say, this version of me isn't serving me anymore. You're allowed to evolve without feeling guilty for it, because staying the same might keep everyone else comfortable, but it will keep you unfulfilled, and you don't know anyone the version of you that they're used to. Growth is hard, but staying stuck is harder. Growth will ask you to shed. It'll ask you to sit in silence. It'll ask you to be misunderstood. It'll ask you to let go before you know what's next. And that's terrifying, but what's even more terrifying is staying exactly where you are and knowing nothing will ever change. Because at some point, comfort becomes a cage, and you will start mistaking your own numbness for peace. So yes, change hurts, and so does staying the same. And only one of them leads somewhere new. You don't grow because it's easy. You grow because it's necessary. Because the life you want won't come from the version of you that's afraid to evolve. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. So many of us wait until we're ready. We wait until it's the right time, until we have more money, more confidence, more clarity. But the truth is, the right time never comes. You won't feel ready, you will just feel called. And that's enough. You don't need to have it all figured out before you start. You just need to be willing to take one small step forward, even if it's shaky. Because the longer that you wait for the perfect moment, the further away your new life gets. And eventually, the weight of waiting becomes heavier than the fear of beginning. So start now, start messy, start scared, but start anyways. The gift of becoming new. You know what's beautiful about change? It always leads you closer to yourself. Every time you evolve, you peel back another layer of everything that you're not, until all that's left is your truth. That's what this whole thing is about. Not perfection, not control, not proving anything to anyone, but just truth. And truth feels like peace. Truth feels like alignment. Truth feels like coming home. So if you've been resisting change, ask yourself, what are you really afraid of losing? Because maybe what you lose isn't love, or safety, or belonging, but maybe it is a version of you that stopped believing you deserved more. And maybe losing that version is the best thing that could have ever happened to you. What if staying hurts more? We ask, what if it doesn't work out? What if staying the same is the thing that breaks you? What if staying the same costs you the person you're meant to become? Change will ask for effort, but staying the same demands your peace. So choose your heart, because either way, you'll struggle. But at least one kind of struggle leads somewhere new. You can struggle with growth, or you can struggle with stagnancy. You can suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And only one of those is worth it. Keep choosing yourself. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to evolve. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to walk away from people who only love the outdated version of you. You're allowed to say, this chapter served me, but it's over now. That's not disloyal. That's self-honoring. And that's what life is, a series of becoming. You're not supposed to stay the same. You're supposed to expand, shift, and bloom. So please don't dim your light to keep fitting into everyone's rooms. Don't apologize for growing. Don't apologize for changing, because the people who are meant for you will never be threatened by your evolution. They'll evolve with you. Staying the same is harder, because deep down you know you're meant for more. And pretending you don't is exhausting. And you can feel it. That quiet ache that shows up when you realize you've been living small. The restlessness that comes when you know there's more inside of you. More to do, more to feel, more to become. But you've been too scared to reach for it all. You tell yourself you're fine and that it's comfortable, that you're content. But late at night, when it's quiet and no one's around to impress, you know that you're not. Because your soul always knows when it's time to move on. It whispers at first, a thought, a dream, a nudge. And if you ignore it, it starts to scream. That's not a punishment. It's guidance. That's life trying to get your attention. Trying to remind you that staying the same isn't safety. It's slow suffocation. The second you stop resisting change, life starts rearranging itself to meet the version of you that's brave enough to say yes. And I promise, the version of you that's waiting on the other side of all this fear, she's not tired anymore. She's not pretending anymore. She's not stuck anymore. She's free, and she's proud of you already. Because even if you're scared, even if you don't feel ready, you're still here, listening, thinking about changing. And that means something in you has already started to move. So trust that. Trust yourself and take the leap, because staying the same is harder, and your new life is waiting for you. With love, Mafe.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share with anyone that might need to listen. Don't forget that we have a membership where as soon as you sign up, you will receive an I Missed Me hoodie. Plus, you have access to an exclusive episode every single month, printable activities, meditations, monthly challenges, PDF guides, and behind the scenes content. Don't forget to follow I Missed Me on social media, I Missed Me Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe to I Missed Me's YouTube channel, I Missed Me Podcast. I will see you guys on our next episode.